Hello, welcome to the All or Nothing podcast. Our official sponsors are KR Couriers and Transport Limited. This is a Northwest based courier company delivering all across the UK. They can assist in home moves and removals to large, heavy and bulky items, collections and drop-offs. Fast, safe and reliable deliveries. Please get in touch for a free quote. You'll find all the information within the description. Thank you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the All or Nothing podcast with myself, Billy Moore, and today's special guest is Danny Brabander. Did I get that right?
Well, you missed off the D Brabander, but you got that. It's good.
I've been practicing this, before I even introduced you. Yeah. But Danny D Brabander, thanks for coming on.
No, thank you for having me on, mate. You're a legend. So.
Do us a favour, please, speak into that.
Certainly will.
So Danny, you've got terminal cancer.
That's right, yeah.
And you're here to talk about your journey.
Yeah.
The negatives, the positives.
That's it, mindset, the lot, yeah.
You're very courageous for coming on, mate. It's
Cheers.
It takes a lot to talk about what you're going through. So tell us a little bit about yourself, so our audience gets to know you.
Yeah, well, I'm from the Wirral, born and raised there. Good family life, can't complain about that. Probably very sheltered. We're a working class family, but didn't want for anything in life. Pretty uneventful, really. Growing up, school, college, watching footy. Apart from I went to Las Vegas for a little stint with an ex-fiance. But yeah, other than that, I was working, doing sales, and then everything kind of comes to head with this cancer journey in 2018. And what I'll get into is what I'm very passionate about is raising awareness, really, for bowel cancer in particular, because when it had kind of kicked off in 2018, I started to feel unwell, started getting cramps in my stomach. This is around March time of that year. Yeah. And it just spiraled. But I went to the doctors. They said have a blood test, and I ignored the blood test. Went over a few months, went away for a few holidays, then didn't feel good, and then literally started to pass blood in me shit, want of a better word, So I went back, no pun intended, followed through on the tests, come back irregular, the blood test come back irregular, the stool sample come back irregular. They said we'll send you for a colonoscopy. This is now January 2019, so I went for the colonoscopy. Not really thinking, they were going to tell me anything sinister's going on. Had the colonoscopy. It's weird. You watch it on a camera, on a screen. And I saw them. They said it was going to be like a 45-minute thing. Went in, 20 minutes into it. Couldn't get past this blockage in me bowel. So I thought, again, nothing more of it. Went back, put you in a side section, tea and biscuits, recover. And then he said, we won't let you go until me Mrs. Jane come up. So yeah, they pulled me into a side room, said we suspect that you've got cancer, we need to do further tests. So I had further scans and so on. I was all right at this point, even though they told me I had cancer. I was quite relaxed. My mum had bowel cancer, and she got it stage 2, had it cut out. So I was very I'll deal with it. And then it was only when I got the CT scan, the results from the CT scan, where they confirmed that it actually spread to my liver. So as I say, that's why I'm very passionate about raising awareness, saying that if you're not, and that's why I was quite keen to come on with you, Bill, because obviously I imagine it's a very male-orientated audience, and you know what we're like, we ignore shit, don't we? Do you know what I mean? And it's important that if you're not feeling right, you go and get checked out, because I don't know in hindsight now whether if I'd have gone or got followed through on the tests early, would I be stage 4? Would I be terminal now? And that was that. And that's when I got confirmed that it was stage 4, and went on Google, and they're talking months left to live, and it was horrible. And I said, this is 2019, so and it only gets more eventful from there. So
I can identify with the with the diagnosis initially. It was for me, it was more like, how am I going to tell my family?
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't about me. right? It was weird. It was a weird feeling. It became about other people.
Yeah.
It wasn't self-centered. You know, I was shocked as well.
Yeah.
I didn't really ignore anything because I couldn't, because it was quite visible.
Yeah.
And it was my vanity. If it was anywhere else, and this is the truth, right? I was going on a date.
Okay.
And I had this enormous lump on the side of my neck that came out of nowhere, just overnight.
Yeah.
Literally. And I was looking at it, it was hideous. I thought, I've got to get that checked out. And that's what prompted me to go. So, yeah, I can understand and I can relate to people. Like, if that was somewhere else,
yeah,
potentially, maybe I could have dismissed it.
Yeah.
You know,
it's interesting what you say there, though, as well, with the family, and they become the priority. One thing I've learned through this journey is your family are a reflection of you. So when you're down in the dumps, they go along with you. But when you're up and you're upbeat and you're positive, and that's one of the things that what you'll see is in terms of me and my mindset is, even though I'm in a shit situation, I'm very positive, and I've realised from an early stage that my family needed me to be. And that's not to say I don't have dark days, of course you do.
Yeah.
But you're right, your family and your friends become your priority, and that's they can't control the situation, so it's probably worse for them than it is for it was for you, or it is for me. Do you know what I mean? So, and anyone else who's going through it. So
yeah, because you've got to, it's more about how they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do go through dark days.
Yeah.
And you do overcome it, but having the diagnosis of something terminal and being told, is that what they said to you?
Initially it was quite positive. So what happened was I went to see the oncologist, and the oncologist said, right, the plan of attack is we'll give you 6 rounds of chemo, and we'll then be looking to operate on your bowel and your liver. And I'd seen that cutting it out is the way to go, which is, you had the operation, and that's always with cancer, is the best way to go, is cutting it out, in my opinion. Chemo, can do good things, but it only has a
shrinks it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's what
it shrinks it. And some amazing stories where it does get rid of it, but very seldom that happens. So cutting it out. So it was all gun go, and it went from being a negative of like me Googling mum's left to live, the oncologist was quite positive, and I thought, you know what, I'll do this.
Yeah.
And it was only then, after that...
after the 6 rounds?
Well, it didn't even get that far. So what happened was, and this is where it gets eventful, so literally started in March, first round of chemo. One of it was via IV drip, the next via tablet. That was on a Friday. Saturday, I was into me running, because I was into I've got to control the controllables. I've got to be fit. I've got to take this on.
Yeah.
Went and did a park run the day after. Felt fine. A few days passed again. Then all of a sudden I started getting this real mad ache in my neck and my arm. Turns out I was cardiotoxic to one of the chemo drugs, which means it has an adverse effect on your heart, 2% chance. So I called up the nurse. He said, get to A&E straight away. It wasn't anything to do with the park run. It was actual chemo causing it. So for this first round, 4 or 5 days in, went up to local hospital at the park. Literally went in, attached to an ECG machine. Next thing is they're rushing around me, and one person into about 15.
Panic.
Yeah. So basically I'd had a minor heart attack. Thankfully I went in when I had, because I was heading towards a major one. And that was the first kind of event of a sequence of them, of where I've gone from getting a terminal diagnosis to now having a heart attack. I was in hospital for about a week. Took me a while to recover. I remember walking around the block absolutely shattered after it, but managed to get it back on my feet. And then they said, right, chemotherapy's off the table now. We'll take you for the operation, but that's not going to be till May. And we're in March. I said, fine. So they said, the only our concern is the bowel doesn't block. So I went up, they did this test where they check how much space is between. No, it's fine. Anyway, it gets to April, mid-April, and all of a sudden I start getting this cramping and all that. And my bowel blocks, so I end up back in hospital. And so what they say is, what we'll do is we'll put a routine stent into your bowel, which inflates your bowel, and ultimately your food can pass through. So I'm like, oh, good. 2% chance it'll go wrong. Bearing in mind, I had 2% chance the chemo would cause me to have heart issues. Can't go wrong, can it? So anyway, long story short, went in, had the stent fitted, got put into a side area again. Next thing is, bang in my bowel. I've never experienced pain like it, honestly. Screaming the place down, felt like no one was there. they sent me for, but they eventually sent me for a scan. Couldn't even get on the scan machine. I was in that much agony, and basically the stent had blown up and perforated my bowel. So anyway, they said we need to put emergency surgery, and then I was waiting, and they managed to get on top of the pain a little bit, but emergency surgery, we need to sort this out. So I remember just not feeling right about the whole process, and I was messaging like friends, family, saying like love you and all that, doesn't feel right this. And then I remember getting wheeled down to go for the surgery with Jane and my mum and dad and that, and I remember going through the doors of the surgery just thinking, doesn't feel right, like I feel like worried here, and I'm quite calm in me nature. Anyway, long story short, again, it turned out that because of all the shite going into my stomach, I'd contracted sepsis while I went under the knife, and it was bad. Like, all my organs were shutting down. My family got called into a room and said, unlikely he's going to make the evening, very small chance, so you may as well say your goodbyes. And so they're obviously very tough time for them, my stepson Josh, he was involved, and like he stormed off, and I can't even imagine what they were going through. I was out of it, I was in an induced coma, and thankfully I started to show signs of improvement. Again, ever thankful for the critical care team at Adder Park, and managed to eventually come round after I think it was 5 days in an induced coma, and my organs started to respond, my body started to fight it, and but then I'd lost that. I dropped down to about under, say, 8 stone in weight, just from being out of it for that period of time. I had to learn to walk again. But it was one of them horrible experiences where I don't know whether anyone you've experienced it, but I was getting like a lot, because of all the drugs I was on, I was getting delusions of grandeur when I was in there as well. So that was a battle. I was seeing all sorts. I thought the hospital was fake. I thought the surgeon was out to get me. I thought I was going to die. Even had a stint where I thought I was away on holiday and I was in the mild climate, and that just the things you see. And to this day, I still think, what we saw was real, but I've had so much go on. I've never really had time to reflect. So within few spaces of being told I was terminal, obviously the mindset of then having the heart issues, which, still could come back, then having sepsis and trying to recover from that. And I spent about 7 weeks, I think it was, in hospital recovering from that. And it was a tough time. And as I say, it's one where, again, I think when you go through adversity, that's where your mindset builds. And I think through the things I've been through, that's where I've started to like build a really strong mindset. Because in the past, when I was growing up, I was always a bit nervous, do you know what I mean? But with certain things, anxious. But my mindset now is stronger than ever, really.
Sounds like horrendous, what you've been through, and I can, obviously I can emphasise and relate to a lot of that, because, myself being in hospital, and on loads of medication, and you're a braver man than me, because I couldn't face reality and had to escape into a narcotic stupor. At the time I didn't have kids or a partner, so I felt alone, and I thought, I didn't want to see me mum and no one. So it was for me, it was just avoidance. I wasn't calm. My nature wasn't calm in any sense. It was sort of just blacked out. And I was taking the CBD. I was paying for that, the proper THC oil, not the shite in liquid form that you think it's good, but it's not. You need the THC, the solid stuff. That's what someone said to me, and I bought that. I was doing on the acidic foods. Unfortunately they couldn't cut a tumour out of me because it was blood. It was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which was travelling around your body through your blood. So it was blood-borne. It was a blood virus, or whatever you call it. You know what I mean?
How long did you have treatment for, Bill?
I had 6 rounds at CHOP.
Okay.
Have you heard of that treatment?
No.
So CHOP chemo.
Okay.
I was going, I think it was once a month or once a week. I can't fucking remember. It was that. Honestly, God, it was like I was out of it.
And how did you find chemo? Is it?
I just slept right through the day.
Yeah.
I had it inserted into me little post strip, and it was like 8 hours. Did you have the same kind of?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, the one I'm on now is tablet form, but yeah, some of the ones I've had have been like.
I was on a drip.
Infusions and that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Infusions. So that was 8 hours. It was a whole day anyway.
Yeah.
But I'd sleep through that and I'd vomit a lot.
Right.
You know, after it.
Yeah.
I was very tired and full of fatigue. And now I believe after. See, this is my thinking now. I get like brain fog.
Yeah.
You know, where I forget things.
Yeah. They call that chemo brain, don't they?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, chemo brain.
So I've definitely got chemo brain, because I was like, before that I was quite sharp and
remembering people's names.
Yeah, I can't fucking remember. Look, I'm looking at actors who I know for years, right? And I go, what's his fucking name?
Yeah.
And then I think I've got Alzheimer's here. I've got something going on.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to your friend.
Oh, Danielle.
Yeah. What's her name was? And she's got a brain fog, so
yeah.
kind of like felt a little bit relieved, to be fair, Dan. I was like, fucking hell, I thought it was on my own here. But I get it a lot, especially because I had a lot of chemo.
Yeah.
6 rounds.
Yeah.
So
an 8-hour infusions, they're heavy as well.
Yeah, and I kind of lost all my hair, my body hair as well.
Yeah.
Went really, like, I've got pictures I could show you. I don't even look like, you know, the Billy Moore who's sitting here today.
Yeah.
And most of that was due to like not eating, using a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
And believing I was going to die. But I believe I put that much poison in my system at the time.
Yeah.
That would have killed anything. I fucking really do, to be fair.
Yeah.
Crack cocaine, heroin, fucking cannabis, fucking tablets, diazepam, you know, fucking opiate-based painkillers, everything was going in me at the time. Cocaine, the fucking lot. Alcohol.
That was your way of dealing with it.
But at the same time, I was like still having the acidic foods, you know, the superfoods, the healthy eating.
Yeah.
just in drinks, though.
It get you, innit?
Yeah, but I was just like blending everything, so I wasn't really having anything that was filling.
No.
It was more like fucking watery.
Oh.
But yeah, so it's a scary experience to be told. And do you have the same kind of total acceptance now?
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, what followed the sepsis was I got called in to the oncologist, and what happened was the cancer had spread to me stomach lining as well as my liver. Been cut out of my bowel, but I still had to have liver surgery. Still had to. Now it was in another area, and that's when I got told I literally had months left to live at that point. Yeah. But I was when I come through sepsis, I kind of thought to myself like, this is like extra time, if you like. So there is an acceptance of it. You know, there's not a day that goes past when I don't think about death. I'll be dead honest with you. I've loads of dead mad things where I always feel like if I'm out with family or friends, they're like, feels like let's take a photo, and it's like it feels like it's a photo for their memories and that, and that could be just me in my head. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's hard, and that's why I try to. You know, reflecting back now from then, I got the thing of had months left to live. Thankfully, chemo worked. I've ended up having 3 major surgeries after that. Loads of organs removed. I had my spleen removed. I've had loads more bowel removed. Bowel blockage. I had another bowel blockage. I've had gallbladder. My belly button removed. Honestly, I've had so much. I've had over 50 rounds of chemo now.
Wow.
Which is just mad. Unfortunately, I mean, I've got to the point where I got no evident disease, which is a terminology. It doesn't mean the cancer's gone, but it just means it's not showable on scans. Got to that twice, which was miraculous in itself. But unfortunately, the cancer came back early this year. And I mean, where I'm at the moment is the way it works for me is there's 4 lines of chemotherapy, basically 4 options. The first one stopped working. That's when they said it had come back after showing no evident disease. Then I got reintroduced to the one that I was first on when it had the good results. And then basically what they said is there's a chance you'll have an anaphylactic shock off this because your body just will fight it. Yeah. Second chemo in. What happens? I have the anaphylactic shock. I'm in the Christie in Manchester now being treated. So I had that. So that comes off the table. So straight away, I've gone in that space of months from being on 2 options, with being no evident disease, with all my 4 options in place. Now I'm on to option 3, which is tablet-based, which, as I said, Yeah, so it's, you know, I'm well and truly up against it, Bill. But again, I've been here before, and I just have this mindset of like living day to day, doing what I can to help others. Just, you know, you just embrace life. And a lot of people say, and it's so true, like, and again, something I'll come on to is my charity now does a lot of random acts of kindness, and we do it for like people who are going through tough times, you know, may have illnesses or depression or whatever, and we'll give them a treat. And what's amazing, I find, is someone who's been through so much or is again having adversity, they're quite often the happiest people you'll find. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like once you realise that I think it's a lot of people just take life for granted, and once you realise your life's important, it's only then, or it comes and hits you in the face, it's only then you start to thinking you've got a second life and start living. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I appreciate the sun. In the past, I'd just be thinking, when am I going out next, or when am I going on holiday next? You know, and it was just wasting time away, always looking for something else to be happy with. And when I'd find, you know, I want to get this car, you know, and I get the car, and then I wouldn't be happy. Do you know what I mean? Because I want the next thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it just gives you a different perspective on life, and I'm sure you've seen that through what you've been through.
Yeah, but I'm just like you just said there, all the external stuff and the things that are shiny kind of can make you happy, but you know what's within. Now I can get complacent, right, and I get to a point where it's, you know, I've totally accepted I was gonna die, and I look around and life slows down a little bit. I started to see things for what they really were. Then I've got the whole clear speed back up. I want the holidays, I want the next thing, you know, because if I can get. But you know, you reminded me, right, of my sister, right? I've never shared this before, right, ever, with anyone. But when I was away in 2018, my sister got diagnosed with cancer, and my mum, you know, I spoke to my mum on the phone about it. She's my younger sister. She's been through similar addictions to myself. She started very, very late in life. She had 4 kids. You know, who grew up, and then she went and hit the road hard with addiction. But she got diagnosed with cancer. But then she had, I don't know what kind it was, because she's still alive. I'm still speaking to the other week. But she had 4 organs removed.
Okay.
So she went through a lot of surgery, you know. But she is like the most fucking volatile. It's honestly, she's a fucking whirlwind. Doesn't care about herself at all, in a sense of like, I'm not asked. You know what I mean? And I think you've been given all these chances, you know. But I think because she's just so resilient and so fucking like driven in what she's doing, that it just keeps her going.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, with you and your charity now, I believe that keeps you, you know, motivated, and it gives you an agenda. It gives you something to focus on, and allows you to bring that little bit of happiness into other people's lives by giving them small gifts, which, you know, someone gifted something to my brother Joe, sent me a little message, and it was a massive gift. It wasn't small. You know, he's mad on fucking caravans. He doesn't want to go to Dubai or New York or Paris. He just likes fucking Wales, Town. You know, and this beautiful soul, this woman, sent me a message, and she said, look, I'm not a nutcase. As soon as you say you're not a nutcase, my head thinks you fucking must be for saying you're not one. You know, and honestly, God, she paid, you know, for Joe to take me mum away in August or September on her birthday. And he's delighted, you know what I mean? He's just a loving, caring soul, very thoughtful. And there's never nothing I want financially. I'm not asked. I'm fucking not, Dan. Get to that point. It doesn't really, you know, concern me. I'm not out for all the big things.
But you look at Joe, like I follow it obviously on, you know, it's why I was quite keen to come on and all that. It's one of them whereby I will look at him, mate, and like he's got challenges in life, but the zest for life and the energy that absorbs from him, and that is just mad, mate. Do you know what I mean? And that's what innocence, I'm saying. Innocence, yeah, and he's, you know, he's a legend, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
You know what he is? He's a fucking proper celebrity. I'm no celeb, I'm no blue tick, I'm just fucking Billy Moore, old school, done a fucking few shit things, changed his life around, does a podcast. But my brother has gone through a life, right, and he's worked and worked and worked and worked, you know, and he's achieved.
Yeah.
And he's overcome those challenges, even through adversity of bullying and, you know, insults.
Yeah.
He's still here, smiling.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
so important, mate, isn't it?
It is so important. So, your family, right, which is important, if we can speak about your family. What impact has it had? Have you got children? And
just a stepson, Josh, and
he's not just a stepson, though.
No, he's not. That's the wrong thing to say. Yeah, do you know what I mean? But not that I'm married.
But I say that, to be fair, though.
Yeah, I mean, I need to marry Jane. Do you know what I mean? But I see him as my stepson. I've known, you know, he's been in my life since he was 10. Do you know what I mean?
How old is he now?
He's 25. Like,
well, he's
your
son.
I mean? He is, and like he's golden. Do you know what I mean? He's never caused any problems. He's a belter and he's doing well. He's in Manchester, living up in Manchester at the moment, and that. So yeah, and I say, my mum and dad, it's that thing of the positivity and moving every day, just trying to get up and live your life. I still work, as I say, I've got my charity stuff and all that, and it all adds to them coming along with me on the ride. And as I say, if I was the times when I do sit in the house, you can see it in them. It's like a mirror. They start reflecting it, and you know. And as I say, I still have health issues. You know, we cancelled the first one of these because I wasn't well because of the chemo. Do you know what I mean? And again, there's days like that, and I can see when I have days like that, they're like, oh, it brings them down. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing you do. You're gonna have side effects, but yeah, I mean, and they're all heavily involved, and have been and see the benefit of the charity stuff that's been going on, Team DDB.
And what's your charity called? So
what happened was, when I got the terminal diagnosis and I got told I had months left to live, a few mates said they'll run like an event in a local park, raising money and doing it in my own. And they come out with these T-shirts with Team DDB, which is DDB, my initials. They raised about $2,500, and then I organised a charity football game which raised about 10. So all of a sudden we were up to $12,000. So what I thought was, let's be fundraisers, let's raise money for the local community, for local charities, and let's put it on social media. And before you knew it, mate, it's just gone mad. I think we've sold over 1,000 t-shirts. We have these t-shirts with like clear eyes, full arts can't live. Sold over 1,000 of them, and just the whole community on Merseyside's got behind it. And then we've literally got to the point now where we've raised over 125 grand for the local community just by fundraising, and then now it's evolved into my own charity, which is Team DDB CIC. So it's a community interest company, and as I said, what we specialise in, people who raise money, is we'll do a tree for someone who's going through a tough time. And that's partly because I saw when I was going through a tough time, some people that do nice things, and like you say in there with Joe, it just has such a massive impact when you got so much shit going on in your life. So yeah, that's what we're all about. But it has been, you know, as a community, like we do footy matches, like, you know, you got ones coming up with Weapons Down coming up and that, but we've done similar things, and park runs, all sorts of events that everyone gets behind, and it's got a lot of like well-known support as well, you know, through the likes of Sir Alex Ferguson, Liam Gallagher, God, I could go on, and and there's a lot of things have happened to me as a consequence of it, like being a baton bearer for the Commonwealth Games and all. So there's a lot of positives that come out of it. Obviously, I would still like to be Danny from 2018 who didn't have cancer and just lived a normal life. I don't want to be this, but at the same time, it is what it is. It gives me some, it gives me some justification for what's happened. And if I can see the impact it makes and the good it makes on other people, then that's a legacy in itself. Yeah. And it's, as I say, there's been so much amazing things come off the back of it, like on national news and all sorts. So yeah, we just keep going. I think you may have got from me, I'm always in a rush as well when I was trying to reschedule this. I'm messaging just because I literally don't know the minute. I live 3 months to 3 months in terms of scans, day by day. But I don't know whether I'm going to get a bowel blockage. I don't know whether the cancer in my liver is going to cause me any problems in terms of You know, I've already had 75% of my liver removed, so there's no chance they're going to remove any more of that. So I've got cancer in my liver now, but I don't know whether that's going to block, you know, an artery or whatever, you know, whatever it is.
So something small and
tomorrow,
simple, yeah.
And you know, it could all change overnight like that. So I'm just always in a rush to do stuff, to organise events, to do podcasts, to raise awareness, and you know, and that's just where I'm at in my life. But yeah, and as I say, my family, with the question you're asking, I've gone off on one, but they're heavily involved in that charity. They're heavily involved, and it's all
keeps them going.
It's all positive. Everything keeps them going. Yeah, and
so what's your day to day like living like? Do you still enjoy just relaxing and watching TV, or going out in cinemas, eating food, and
all that, mate,
just carry on?
Yeah,
regardless.
I mean, I haven't been away abroad since I got diagnosed, which I want to do, just because the insurance is sky high and all that.
Don't tell them for all that.
Exactly. I was thinking that.
I didn't. I went everywhere. I went, honest to God, I went fucking everywhere. I went to the Philippines. I went to fucking Cyprus. I done fucking Greece. I went to Spain, all on my own.
Yeah.
But fuck this, mate. No. I'm just going. Right? Because I knew insurance was going to be through the roof. So.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think when I looked, the insurance cost more than the holiday. Like,
I know it's fucking ridiculous.
Like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, day-to-day life, you know, I love footy. Just, you know, I've done a stint coaching. Whether I get back to do a bit of coaching, whether my health, I used to coach Southport under 21s for a period. So again, whether I get back to that, but day-to-day, yeah, just I work as much as I can. The charity stuff, events. And then spending time with the family, with the missus and that, and as I say, we've had last few months have been tough because obviously chemo and the reactions to the chemo I had. But yeah, looking to get away the end of this month, and then hopefully abroad, mate, maybe Portugal or Spain and that. As I say, your life's for living in it, mate. You just got to go and fucking do it. So
you'll be sad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure you will be.
Yeah.
So, is there anything we can talk about? We can add to? Is there anything you'd like to add to the podcast that you think it'd be? I like what you said, you know, like raising awareness.
Yeah.
Because you pointed out a good point at the beginning about men being men, male masculinity, you know, avoiding responsibility and being accountable for your own health because we just think we're going to be like, I've had to, right? Because this is, I've avoided going to the fucking doctors and all. I don't go for a lot, I haven't been for years.
Yeah.
But I thought, I need a medical check, right? A full MOT, and I booked myself in, right? Just because I think I've got too much on, I'm doing this, and this is what life takes over. Life's fucking quite a big rush, and you haven't got enough fucking hours in a day, and you forget, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do this. Oh, if I go there, I'm going to miss that. You know what I mean? So you're missing out on getting a health check, because you think going to the gym is more important.
Exactly.
So I've booked a health check, right? Because me fatigue, and me memory, forgetting fucking people's fucking names was a big one. And I think physically I'm okay, strong. Mentally, I'm thinking I'm equipped to just deal with life as it goes. So yeah, you raised an important point there about.
But it's not even just like, I'm talking cancer related, but it's anything. If it's mental health as well. If you're suffering, don't like suffer in silence. Speak to people. One of the things with my journey, I don't like to call it a battle because I've lost people who I know along the way from cancer and that, and they didn't lose a battle. They were positive. They were strong people who lost a lot.
Never a battle, is it?
No, it's not, and it's a journey, but
not a fight either.
No, and I hate all that terminology, to be honest with you, but. The biggest kind of, and I'm going to say battle, but the biggest thing for me was the physical stuff is the physical stuff. It's been the mental side of getting my mindset right and dealing with that thing of, like, literally you don't know how long you've got left to live. And it's weird because there's been people who have died. Since I got diagnosed, there's been people I know who've died along the way, who've been like initially saying to me, oh, I hope you're okay, Dan. And I've outlived them. But it's just weird when someone says you've got a terminal diagnosis and you're probably looking at months to years, and so you're straight in your head. That's where you've got this kind of full stop. Where when you live in your life, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? You don't. It's nobody knows, do they?
You're just aware of something a bit more.
Yeah.
It's quite sad.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is, well, just to answer the point, I think. It's mindset, it's resilience, it's if you're going through something, it's how you respond to that, you know, and adversity and all that. They're the key things I get across. Try to be positive, speak to people if you're struggling, you know, and one of the things someone always said to me, and I always think it resonates with me all the time, is 96% of what you worry about doesn't actually happen, mate. Do you know what I mean? So if you're living your life and you're worrying about something and you're not doing something because you're worried, just do it. You get your ear once, just go and do it. Make yourself happy. Do what makes you happy.
Who's asked?
Who's asked, mate? Just keep fucking smiling and moving forward. Even if it's baby steps, keep moving forward. Like, and that's how I live my life now. So
brilliant. But that Danny Brabander.
Brabander.
I said this to him about Daniel Brabander. It's
like Dutch.
It's a Dutch name.
Belgium, but I don't know anyone from there. Like
Daniel Brabander, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're coming to the end now. Yeah. Right? What would you say, Daniel, right, to a young Daniel walking through the doors of life? Anything positive, anything you could say? If you were in the position you are now, you had an opportunity to speak to a younger self.
Yeah.
What guidance, what advice would you tell yourself?
Just picking up from what I just said, really. Just don't let opportunities pass you by in life. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking go for it. Like, it's, you know, you don't know the minute, you literally don't. So just go. I would say to me, sometimes I floated and that, do you know what I mean? And I just wish I hadn't. I kind of wish I knew what I had post cancer to what I had before, because I think I would, you know, it's not to say I regret anything in life. I don't. Do you know what I mean? You can't. But at the same time, would I do some things differently? Absolutely. And one of them is, there's opportunities I'd take. Put yourself into situations when you're not comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Just do it. Just do it.
Dude, face the fear.
Face the fear, yeah. There's nothing, you know, without you know, fear is important, but also having like hope in life's important as well.
Taking risks.
Yeah. That's it. That's exactly it.
I've done all that. But with that, I'll put all the links as well within the description. So Daniel's charity will be in the description box for anyone who's looking to donate or get involved or just have a little chat. So we'll sort out any other links, anything we can do, we'll put in.
Will do, yeah.
But Danny, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome,
absolutely
mate.
loved it, mate.
No, you're a legend, mate.
So are you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers, Bill.
You're welcome.